Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel Capri Social Network. I am your host Capri, aka Cap, and in today's video, everybody, I wanted to talk about a former female prison guard who also happens to be an OnlyFans model who got fired from her job as a prison guard as a result of her having sex with a male inmate. And to make matters even worse, there was another inmate, male inmate or fellow inmate, right there in the room recording the whole incident as it was going on. As it was going on, ladies and gentlemen, she was in the former female correctional officer or prison guard was enjoying every minute, every second of it. Now, I would show the video, but due to YouTube strict guidelines, everybody, unfortunately, I will not be able to. Nevertheless, and however, I will make sure that I drop the link right in the description box so you could be able to see the whole entire video yourself. Must I remind you, this video happens to be pretty graphic as well. And I also wanted to let you know that as well, I just read some things about her. This former prison guard, once again, slash OnlyFans model, who happened to lose her job due to her having sexual relations with a former inmate. Well, current inmate. She, and forgive me for saying former inmate, judging from my understanding, and as far as I know, he is still a current inmate. With that being said, I'm going to still show you a picture, actually a screenshot with a collage of two different angles of the two of them engaged in sexual conduct with each other, sexual relations with each other. So if you bear with me, everybody. It should be coming up any minute. Now, this is right here is the thumbnail of them having their way with one another. Also, I want to read you a backstory on this here. Well, as a matter of fact, let me show you the actual picture of this lady, who is not a bad looking lady by a long shot, and read her backstory as well. Now, like I just said, she's not a bad looking lady by a long shot. And as you can see for the caption, it's saying update, female prison officer, or headline, female prison officer film, quote unquote, working out. She was working out all right. And when an inmate in London prison is a married OnlyFans model. I also forgot to say that this prison where she worked happened to be somewhere in the UK, in the United Kingdom. Anyways, let me read the update. Female prison officer film, quote unquote, working out with an inmate in London prison is a married OnlyFans model. That's even worse for her to be. Not only her being a married woman, but being an OnlyFans model, because what fool will marry a woman who happens to be an adult star? Or even if she wasn't an adult star before getting married, I still would consider her husband, whoever is her husband, a big simp for still doing so, a big simp and big fool for doing so. Because women in this regard, or this caliber, are never ever the most faithful. And judging by looking at her in a photo, by the way, she happens to be Latino. These types of women who look like this, in most cases, are never hardly the most faithful. Never make good wives nor mothers. Yet and still, these are the types of women, ladies and gentlemen, there's so many guys, so many of you gentlemen like to settle for. The main types of women who you like to display when you come around your homeboys, so they may be your homeboys or some of your male relatives, even female relatives, to display as a quote unquote trophy, as a, you could also say, a quote unquote showpiece as well. once again, let me start again by reading the backstory on her update. Female prison officer filmed working out with an inmate in London prison is a married OnlyFans model. And let me try to enlarge this so some of you could be able to read it more better. Now, the female prison officer who was filmed having sex with an inmate inside a cell in South London has been identified as a 29-year-old married woman named Linda de Sousa Abreu, however you pronounce her last name. And the officer was captured in a now viral video performing a lewd act and having sex with a prisoner. The video was filmed by another inmate. Linda is said to be a happily married OnlyFans model. Key words, happily married. How could she be happily married? Tell me, doing some of this regard. Degrading herself is already degraded enough to be an adult star. And to make matters even worse, to cheat on your husband, well, first and foremost, to be married, be an adult star, and then cheat on your spouse while doing so. Anyway, who boosted about, quote unquote, never faking it in online rumps. Linda is said, once again, Linda is said to be a happily married OnlyFans model who boasted about, or boosted, however you pronounce that, about, quote unquote, never making it in online rumps. And excuse me if I said raps, but it's rumps. They just don't show the whole word. Anyway, the Sun UK reports that she and her husband have an OnlyFans account where they charge fans for explicit snaps. Linda ran the account under the pseudonyms, quote unquote, Linda from the Playroom and La Madre, which is Spanish for the mother, quote unquote. In her bio, Linda writes, I am a happily married, sexy Latina who works to share hot content with you. Personally, I think that she's full of it, full of crap, and she has some serious mental issues, talking about how much of a happily married woman she is. And it's clearly obvious she's not happy by a long shot after showing you, well, once you see the video of her getting on with the inmate, you will see exactly how she's not happy by a long shot being married. Anyways, experience my real life, real love, real sex, and real orgasm. We believe in authenticity. All our content will be genuine and we'll never fake it because we want you to enjoy it as much as we'll enjoy making it. Linda is a swinger who joined her husband a 15-person orgy. She a straight up freak hoe at that. On Racing Channel 4 show Open House, The Great Sex Experiment. Introducing herself, Linda said monogamy is a social construct that I think needs to be dismantled. Opening up our relationship has allowed us to form a deeper connection with each other. Linda told how she and her husband have been open for 3 of their 9 years together. In the following episode, Linda is seen twerking in front of a woman's face before kissing a man and a woman at the same time. She then follows 14 other people, including her husband, upstairs for a full-fronted orgy. In another scene, Linda and her husband briefly meet with a couple and float the idea of a potential foursome. And I'm going to stop sharing this. Go back to StreamYard. Now, for my fellas, all of my upstanding, mild-mannered, clean-cut fellas, this is one reason why it's so hard for you to be able to connect with women when you may try to approach women in this regard, whether it may be either in person or online on a dating app. Most people nowadays prefer meeting other people and getting to know people more so now on behalf of both social media and dating apps, as opposed to doing things the traditional way. And as far as meeting people physically, some people call it cold approaching as well. But fellas, to all of my fellas that are career oriented, that want something out of life, whether you may be in college right now and trying to pursue big things, or even if you may have been in college already, graduated college, including some of you in top honors, and are doing very well successfully. After showing this video that you will see later on, this explains why you have such a hard time when so many women that may still reject you or may have rejected you in the past due to how they go for guys of that nature. Guys like in the video, the prison video, who have nothing to offer them, guys who they like to complain about in one sense, but then again, in another sense, they like to brag about. Guys who are stone cold, in some cases, stone cold murderers, child molesters, rapists, not only murderers, child molesters, and rapists, but also have done robberies, all kinds of some of the most heinous crimes you could imagine. These are the types of guys women look at as a thrill to be with. And unlike how it would make more sense to go for guys who want something out of life, guys who are more ambitious, more career-oriented, guys who will make some of the best husbands, best fathers, guys who carry themselves in a very dignified and upstanding way. These are the types of guys, unfortunately, who so many women pass over and look at as lames, as boring, or too stiff. Just to name a few things that women like to consider those guys as the reason so many women turn down and reject those guys in the place of quote unquote bad boys, guys that are armed and dangerous criminals in most cases, guys who are doing prison time or either have done prison time in the past, some who will never ever be able to get their freedom again. And believe it or not, there are quite a bit of women who have proposed to these guys while these guys have been incarcerated. And to make it sound even more foolish, have went as far as marrying these same types of guys, guys who can even both figuratively nor literally rub two nickels together. Guys who are some of the most bottom of the barrel men they could find, which just goes to also show you, because this woman happens to be, once again, a Hispanic lady. This just goes to show you how it's not just specifically African-American women going for these types of guys, no good men, the bottom of the barrel men, some of the most toxic men they consider for, but it's other races and groups of women as well. Anyways, make sure you first comment on the video, you share, you like it by smashing that like button. Last but not least, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, you guys have a good one and be blessed.